welcome to My Life on Paper. I am Brianna, and welcome to Stamp It Like It's Hot, where each month we get a technique to use with our stamps. Also, welcome to May I Scraplift You, where I am scrapping Linda, the scrapbooking photographer. I will have her information listed below. I'm going to do a scrap lift of that with the stamping. The technique for today is to stamp on an embellishment. So I'm going to be stamping on those flowers. You can already see that my layout is starting to look like Linda's. I grabbed this piece of already done mixed media paper and I'm doing a 4th of July layout. I found this pretty red paper. It was a scrap, and I went into my stash and got the red cardstock behind it to that matches it. It's not the same because the one on top actually has the polka dots on it, raised polka dots on it, and the back it almost has like a homemade paper. It's got flecks in it. That was in my stash, and so I'm going to gut it because I am going to back the photo with this paper. If I didn't need it for backing the photo, I wouldn't have worried about taking the middle out, but I wanted to make sure it was the same red because we all know how reds go. I have 50 shades of them and it's never the right one. So here I put my ATG adhesive and I'm just going on the corners. It doesn't need a super lot, but I do want to make sure those corners are adhered down. And then I carefully, hopefully, cross my fingers, get it straight, or straight enough anyway. And then I will bring the photo back, and I've cut out my 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mat. But then I was like, okay, this matches too well. It needs something behind it. This is, I got in a whole pack of paper where it's got all the different seasons. So I cut that down to 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. And I'm going to take my ATG adhesive and then glue those mats down because this initial part comes together very quickly. I really like this layout of Linda's. I'm super excited. I love the way it turns out. This is just so fun. And I'm going to put the flower there so that I can see, do I have my strip of paper over far enough? I think Linda probably made her inset paper smaller, but because it had all the mixed media on the outside, I didn't want to trim mine down anymore. So I'm going to move it a little bit more over to the right so that I have plenty of room for that flower there and that the right hand side doesn't look empty. I have these cut apart cards and here I'm trying to decide which one I might use, and I'm not sure at this point, but I just know I'm going to use one of them. So, and then I'm like, maybe I should back it in red. It's a lot of red though. So yeah, I'll just kind of put those to the side to figure out later. And then when I pulled out the white flowers, I also had this in my stash. They're kind of like pearls in a chevron design. And so I thought I would take it. She's got some, it's kind of like ribbon or something like crocheted. So I thought I would use that for that. She has a tab on top, so my tab is going to stay together. And I realize here where the photo isn't glued, but that's okay. Together is glued to the photo. And then these tickets, these are doodlebugs, as well as that tag is. They are perforated, they come apart. I'm struggling. They've got little circle stickers in between them, so they get kind of everywhere and stuck to everything, but that's okay. If that's the worst thing that happens to me, I'm doing okay. Now that I figured out my picture is not glued down, I am going to stick some adhesive underneath it, and it's going to be difficult with these stickers on my fingers, so I'm going to just stick them here on this block. That is a stamp on a wood block. It is fireworks, and I did think about adding it to the Mix Me in the background, but I did not. Here I will put those tickets down, and that's in the place of the film strip that Linda has in the lower right corner of her photo. And I go back to these chevrons, and it gives me a really hard time. This might be, well, I don't know, not the most time consuming, but it is the most difficult thing I did. And I will even remove some of it so that you don't have to sit and watch me struggle, but also get my head in the way. So I was trying to get it to go at an angle. I wanted you to see it, but I wanted it to kind of fit behind, up to that red piece of paper, and it just kept sticking to my finger and I couldn't get it to work right. I end up figuring out it's too short, and so I will plop that part down and then come back with a little bit more of it. I'll trim it off the back of the backer thing and I will add that to it. So here's enough of me just struggling with this. And then I'll use it again on the bottom part of the page and it goes right down. I mean, I don't know if I've learned from it or there we go. Ta-da! I don't know. Does that, I hope that adds a little bit of something to it. There's other things I could have used. They just grabbed me because it was just right there in front of me. So I was happy to use some of that. I'm not sure where I got the background paper from. It was something that I have a iris container that I call Rainbow, and it's just like fun, lots of colors. So that's where I got this from. And they're not all just blues, they're kind of purples, and you'll see that when I pull the inks out later. This I can't believe I found, and I didn't remember I had, is outdoor denim. Is an old color for close to my heart, and so this is something that went with one of the collections, and so this ribbon is going on this page, and I don't know if you can see Linda's. It's hers is a very kind of soft, translucent ribbon on the left side of her torn paper there. These stickers are from Hobby Lobby. They're the Paper Studio brand, and I just wasn't sure if those were gonna go exactly or not. So then I have these other ones which I think are also from Paper Studio, and I found these 4 left, although if you see to the right there is totally more, but these were just random stragglers, so I decided to use those. And this is a different sticker collection. I think they came with some papers, so I'll just finish the 3 off. There's 2 more, so there'll be 1 in each cluster, and I do believe they're raised a little bit. I throw a little bit of Barely Art glue under that ribbon. Wasn't sure how well it was going to stick. It was only adhered with the washi tape behind it. Now, I have these extremely old, still juicy colors from Close to My Heart. So I'm going to use cranberry for the red, and I have 3 different blues that I'm going to use. And I start with this smaller one. Now, these are Close to My Heart paper flowers from a very long time ago. This is the rest of my stuff from Close to My Heart. And I'm just going to take these little stamps, and I don't know if you can see them. They're on a kind of a stick, and they're stamps by Judith. I don't know if you're familiar. These are from, again, a very long time ago. So, you know, I would say probably 20 years ago. But they were just the right size, I thought, for making these little stamps. I didn't want to use that fireworks on the flowers. I just thought it was going to be too big, and then, you know, you wouldn't get a good stamp, and it'd be going off the flower and different stuff. So this one, I really worked, and you know, I've said I'm not good at being random in the past, but like when it comes to stamping, it makes it really easy because you're just trying to do some actually mini clusters is how I look at it. So I got a red star next to it. They're kind of like snowflakes, but I'm calling them fireworks today. And I will get, you know, just start with red, get the stars around, put a firework next to it in red, and then pick each of the colors of blue, kind of fill them in, and then when it gets down to the end, just kind of find those colors maybe that or even the shapes that I really didn't get enough of in there, and I will sneak those in at the end. So I tried to speed these up even more than the rest of the video. I'm not sure how well that worked out, but it just does give it a good example. Now, should I have been stamping this over my paper? Normally I would not. With this mixed media going on in the background, I think I might have stamped off a little bit. Oh, but you know what? Those pieces are so big. Between that big flower and then the title piece that I'll have, the 3x4 title, it's not a tag, but cut apart that I use, you're not going to see anything where I stamped off. Except for I might have used my finger. I might have smudged some with my finger now that I'm looking at it. But again, it goes in with the mixed media, so you're not going to notice it. So I get the little one done, and then I'll work on the bigger one. I wasn't sure exactly where I was going to use that smaller one. It could have layered on top of the bigger one, but because they're all of the same color, I did not do that. And it's going to kind of stay down in that right lower corner. In case you are new to May I Scraplift You, we do it once a month, and then the month of May, we will do it people do it every day. I'm not doing it every day, but there is a person associated with each day that we can scrap lift, and you can do that, or you can pick whoever you want to scrap lift. So today's Linda's day, and I hope that everybody goes and checks out her. She is just fabulous. Not only is she very talented when it comes to putting a scrapbook page together, but her photographs. She is a photographer, so she does have beautiful photographs as well. Oh, here we go. This part for sure is sped up, so I don't move that fast in case you didn't know that. I had said I was going to work on a lot more Disney layouts this month. I will be. This one is not, obviously. We are at the park to watch fireworks on the 4th of July. I do finally end up using these stickers, and on the big one, I will put two. I really wanted a red one, but there wasn't a big enough red one, so put the white one underneath and layer the red one up. I decide to use this blue one. I'm going to trim off just a little bit of the red that's still showing on there. I'm going to go back into my stickers, into my Doodlebug stickers, and trying to figure out. Now, Linda has a little tab off to the right side of her ribbon that runs the length of the page. The ribbon runs the length of the page, not the tab. So I wanted to put something there. I just wasn't sure what I wanted to put there. So that takes me just a minute to figure that out. But I will glue my title down. I will make sure to get my my firework flower down. Very excited about that. I use foam adhesive to pop both of those flowers up just a little bit, and I will stick that one down there, and then I will work on getting those stars down in a cluster, just like Linda has little, it looks like enamel dots or enamel hearts on her layout. So I'll get those down. There will be a playlist below for everybody that's playing along with Stamp It Like It's Hot, as well as everybody that's playing along with May I Scraplift You. Here is that ticket. I finally decided I'm not going to use a tab. I'm going to use a ticket. I didn't want to run it sideways. Everything with mine is going up and down, so I will just find a little blank spot underneath or next to Stories of Summer there, and tuck it a little bit under the ribbon. But I'm not convinced right now, right? I gotta look at it, gotta feel it, gotta think about it, gotta try it different ways until I find out, oop, this is the best way. And even then it's like scooted over just a little bit. So there we go. All right. I want to thank everyone so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you so much for all your love and comments and likes and subscriptions. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a fabulous day, and please come back and see me again soon.